Welcome to Coffey Talk, real stories from real people. I'm your host, Kate Coffey Bacon, and every Monday we'll sit down for honest conversations about successes, failures, and the lessons we learn from both. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Coffey Talk. Today, I'm joined by someone I admire both professionally and personally, Anya Ciecierski. She is the co-founder behind ERP Software Blog, CRM Software Blog, and ERP Cloud Blog, and she leads the Channel Marketing Academy, which has become such an empowering and rich space for marketers in our community. She calls herself an accidental entrepreneur. She never set out to start a business, but looking back, she says it's the best career decision she never planned. Her story shows us that you don't need a formal business plan or outside funding to build something real. You just need curiosity, consistency, and a willingness to solve problems. So today she's here to share what she's learned along the way. Anya, your story is such a powerful example of how businesses can unfold in unexpected ways. Can you share how those first steps led you to an entrepreneurship journey without even planning it?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Kate. So back in 2009, I came back from a Microsoft event and I told my search engine optimization consultant, we need to have a blog. I don't really know what that is, but Microsoft says it's really cool these days. And he said, who's going to read it? Who's going to link to it? If you knew a lot of people to contribute and have articles and link to it, that could be a powerful blog. And I thought, well, I know a lot of people. So we started this, what is now a very large business, really just on that one idea. And the phrase was, I know a lot of people. So I didn't have any background in running a business. I didn't at the time even think that it would become a big business. I just thought this is a way that I can help myself, that I can help my other friends in the Microsoft community. We can all do this together. And let's see where it goes. And I think if I had known at that point that it was going to turn into kind of a full-time job, I might have even been too scared to jump in. But at the time, it was just hey, let's do this little side project. Let's see where it brings us. And so really, it taught me the value of having those relationships ready for when an opportunity like that comes along, because I think that was the key. We didn't, as you said, start out with a business plan. We didn't start out with funding. We didn't start out with, grand ideas. We just knew a lot of people. And when I approached them and said, hey, I have this idea, 10 of pretty visionary companies at the time just said, I don't really know what you're doing, but there's this girl, she's got this idea, let's try it. And, and I'm happy to say that a lot of those companies are still working with me today, 16 years later. So they're still members of this group blog site that we've built. And I do have a business partner, which brings its own challenges and also is good in many ways. Because again, I don't think that I necessarily would have maybe had the confidence to jump in and just start a business from scratch back then. But by teaming up with somebody who had that experience before, that really helped. And, I think something else that a lot of people don't know about me probably is that I don't have a college degree in marketing. I never pursued that. And yet people always assume that I do. But after school, I decided to take a year off, and I ended up getting a job purely by happenstance with this really kind of genius. He really was a genius marketer, and I was just kind of his gal Friday. So I did focus groups with him and marketing stuff, and I picked up his dry cleaning. I did everything for him for 4 or 5 years, and I learned so much. And I kept thinking, should I maybe go back to college or try college? And then I thought, no, I'm learning so much from him. And that caused me some angst, I will admit, younger in my career, because I was embarrassed about that. And I didn't want people to know. And I felt a little bit, it increased that imposter syndrome. Now I don't think anyone cares. Experience trumps all. But I do think sometimes things like that can stop someone from saying, I want to start something new. I want to do something else. But again, for me, it was really just all about those relationships that made it work.
And you just said something that I want to kind of tap in. We're talking about entrepreneurship and starting out on this journey and not being like feeling completely ready. And you've also said that, you didn't have a degree in marketing, and experience trumps. And I have a degree in marketing, but if we aren't collaborating and learning with each other and alongside each other, I mean, my degree in marketing isn't worth the paper that it's printed on hanging on the wall. I mean, modern marketing is not at all what it was 25 years ago. So we have to be continually growing and learning and moving forward in new ways. We are in an amazing golden age of technology right now, and we have to collaborate and lean on each other. So I just wanted to speak to that. Anya, I respect you so much as a marketer. I think you are one of the most brilliant marketing minds I have known. And I'd love to get your input on things. I've asked you for mentorship on several things, one being imposter syndrome. Like, you were the one that I called and said, what should I do about this? And should I be vocal about this? So your ideas and your mentorship is just, it's so valuable. I want to talk a little bit about collaboration. You've said that you've seen how collaboration, not necessarily competition, can create momentum if we're moving together. And we see that with ERP Software Blog and all that we're doing together with that. Can you share a story where that kind of came to life for you, where you're seeing collaboration creating movement?
Well, I think the ERP Software Blog, CRM Software Blog, the premise behind them has always been use the power of the group. So by all of us contributing together, even though we're competitors in this space, or the people who are on the site are competitors, high tide floats all ships kind of analogy. So we're helping everyone to get more exposure. And I do think that concept is kind of difficult for some people, especially early on in the beginning. Nowadays, people say, oh, well, I want to be where everyone else is. But in those early days, it was, I want to keep everything close to the chest. I don't want everyone else to know what I'm doing out there. And I'm thankful that that's changed a lot in the marketing we see now. But, one thing I did back in, I think it was 2007, is I would go to marketing events in our channel and learn from some amazing marketers. And I thought, I want to be like them. I want to continue learning from them. So I started a marketing kind of a peer group that meets once a month, and we share. And that's been going since 2007, which is shocking to me. But I really think where it came from is just me thinking, I want to surround myself by these smart people in the room. And the way for me to do that is to herd the cats, to bring them all together. So, and maybe again, because I didn't have that formal training, I was thinking I need extra, input from these people who really know what they're doing. And that has proven to be, again, great from a kind of more technical learning standpoint, but just from relationship building, there's so much, Kate, that comes from that in terms of helping each other, through different work situations, or I could lost count of the number of people that I've recommended for jobs and referred for different jobs, or just have that discussion of, hey, you feel stuck in your job. Don't be afraid to just change. I'm a really firm believer that if you don't like the life you're in, you have the power to change it, and on a business level and where you're living, wherever it may be. So I think that's one area that marketing group has been huge. And, just the blogs themselves really helping people to figure out how we can all come together, do projects together, and make everything better because we're together.
That is collaboration. That is something that I've seen in the Dynamics channel that I haven't seen in any other work community that I've been in. You can sit at a table with your biggest competitor and it doesn't matter. We're all here to help each other, and at the end of the day, help the end user. So we come together in this collaboration. I'm learning this. I mean, I'm a solo girl as an entrepreneur. I own my own business for 10 years. I did most of it by myself. Only towards the end did I have employees. So it's easy to feel like when you come from that space, you should go at it by yourself. So you're so great at leaning on community. How do you remind yourself to do that?
So I have like these regular calls set up with two other entrepreneurs, and we just kind of hash out every month, what are you working on? What are you working on? And it's amazing to me how you can get so down deep in your business that you are unable to then see something that's so obvious to someone else. And so very often when I explain, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm trying to convey, someone else in that group will say, oh, well, you should just offer this, or you should just say that. And it's so crystal clear. And I think, why didn't I think of that? But I can do the same for her business. I really do think that just having that outside perspective is so, so helpful. So I rely on them. I rely on a few other people that I go to when I have questions. And nowadays, I mean, even AI, just using AI as a sounding board, as a business coach. Back when I started my business, I would have loved to have had AI to ask questions about contracts and insurance and legal things and all this that's needed to start a business. And I feel like people today have such a great opportunity that if they have an idea and they have a network, that AI can help them with a lot of that heavy lifting that we kind of had to muddle our way through back in 2009 when we started. So I think that just having people that are set up already as people that you're going to meet with and discuss those ideas with versus being afraid to call them maybe, and now I don't want to bother them and whatever. But we're sharing, we're going back and forth. We're each helping each other's business. That's been a big strength.
I am an early adopter of AI. I've been using it for 2.5, 3 years actively every day. I use AI every single day. I want to have a bell at Coffee Talk that we ring every time somebody says AI. And this is the first mention of AI. I can't believe it. What a powerful tool, and how it's changed the way that we do so much. That is a whole other Coffee Talk that we should do together. Of the power of AI and how we're using it, and how it's changed our job, how it has been a pivotal moment for us. I'm going to go back to your story. And you said that you started your business because you wanted to help others and you wanted to come together and move the needle all together as a group. So this started out not as a full-time venture for you. You were in a career, you had a job. When did it change for you? When did you say, no, this is something legitimate and it's moving and it needs my full attention? When did that happen for you?
Yeah, so I would say that during COVID is when I finally made the break from having my real job as an employee and then doing this on the side. And then during COVID is when I switched and I'm just really focusing on my own business. But there were points throughout since 2009 when we started that I thought, oh, this is really something. This is going to keep going. I think every year when we first started, I thought, oh, I hope this is a nice little income stream. I hope this keeps going. I hope this keeps going. But I never really relied on it. And in a way, I think that gave me a lot more freedom, again, to kind of become that accidental entrepreneur. That when someone calls me an entrepreneur, I don't even resonate with that. I'm like, oh, I guess that I am. But I don't think of myself that way, to be perfectly honest with you. Because when I started the business, it really was on the side, and it took away that overthinking perfectionism that I am cursed with. And I think it was, well, I can do this. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. This is just my side gig. This is something I'm doing on the side. And it allowed me to keep moving forward without being kind of crippled by everything has to be perfect and awesome and amazing. I could just kind of just see how it goes. And it was in 2012, I think, that I got invited to Microsoft Convergence, which is a huge event in our industry at that point, run by Microsoft. And Microsoft invited me to come as a member of the press for the ERP software blog. And that was a moment that I thought, wow, this is a real legitimate thing. And I was sitting in a room with, 50 other press people, mainly men, I'd say 99% men, older men, asking these really tough questions to the Microsoft executives. And I felt so out of place, but I was there and they continued to invite me. And so that was one very pivotal moment when I thought, this is more than just my little fun side project. This has really turned into something special.
It is so special. And I can't ask the Google any question in our dynamic space. I can't ask for any information without ERP software blog coming up. And so you've really created and built something so special, and it really does feel like a community, and that we're all helping each other to to come up. So I love this question because hindsight is 2020. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice before starting out on this path, on this journey, what would that be?
I think it would be just be nice to people. Be genuinely nice to them, and good things will happen. So I think that having that relationship, that network built, that people trusted when I came to them with an idea was huge. And that's from being nice. I think also throughout my business, we've tried really hard not to charge the most money we possibly can or squeeze every inch out of everything, but just to figure out ways, how can we do more for this customer that they're not expecting? How can we make their lives easier? What would I want someone to provide to me if I was their client? But I think just kind of on a general overall human rule, by being nice to people, that it will come back to you in business. That would be my advice, I think.
I agree completely, wholeheartedly. So if there's someone starting a business right now, whether it's accidental or very intentional, what would be some final thoughts that you would give to them as they're starting out on this journey?
I'd say first focus on building your network, building that group of people that wants to listen to you or trusts you. I would say also leaning, like we talked about, leaning on others. And that's not always just, what can you tell me? What advice can you give me? What can I grab? But what can I do for you? Can I build a group like this marketing group that would also help you so that we can all work together? And then I'm also benefiting from that as well. So a network, building your kind of peer group to help you, using AI as a business advisor, and then maybe just get started without overthinking it too much, without feeling that everything has to be perfect, that you need the perfect business plan, that you need everything in place. Try it, see how it goes, and see if it's something that can be built into something larger.
I was reading a short story a couple of days ago about a woman that started out in her own business. And, one of the things that she said was just the same thing you're saying. Just get in there and go. Just start, because everything's going to change. You're going to learn more. Even your business model, your idea is going to evolve. So just get in there. At UST, we call that just like throwing spaghetti against the wall. Act like a kindergartner and just get in there and go. So what great advice, especially the advice about AI. My AI has now named himself. And so now we are on first name basis. So Anya, again, thank you for coming on to Coffee Talk this morning. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you for partnering with this community and helping us all to be better. This story shows me that building something meaningful doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require a perfect plan. It requires showing up, being authentic, being kind, staying curious, and a true service to other people. I'm so grateful for everything that you built and are still building in our community, personally and professionally. I'm so grateful for you. If you want to learn more about Anya and all the things she's up to, you can check out Channel Marketing Academy. I'll put some links in the show notes. I'll put links to everything. So check it all out, and also find Anya on LinkedIn. And here is a fun scavenger hunt for you. Listen in on the way that Anya says to pronounce her last name. You'll never, ever forget it. There's a LinkedIn scavenger hunt for you. Anya, I'm using my Channel Marketing Academy mug this morning. So appreciative of this. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Coffee Talk.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you for joining us today on Coffee Talk. A special thanks to my guests for sharing their story, and to you, the listener, for being a part of this conversation. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a Monday morning chat. Until next time, I'm Kate Coffey Bacon, and this has been Coffee Talk.